You drive past a gas station every single day. Cars are constantly pulling in, hundreds of gallons are flowing every hour, and you probably do the quick math in your head. 10 pumps going nonstop, this place must be printing money. The most visible evidence of this assumed wealth is right there in the sky. Those massive illuminated signs broadcast prices of $3, $4, or even $5 a gallon to thousands of drivers. But the constant traffic and the towering price tags create a retail illusion. For the people who actually own these businesses, the fuel you are pumping into your car is almost an afterthought. This breakdown chart shows exactly where your money goes when you buy a $3.11 gallon of gas. The vast majority of that price is completely out of the station owner's hands. About 69% goes directly to crude oil extraction and refining. Next, state and federal taxes take a massive cut. The national average is around 50 to 60 cents, but in places like California, the government collects nearly 90 cents on every single gallon. Then the banks step in. Credit card swipe fees carve out about another 8 cents per gallon. After paying for freight and distribution, the owner is left with a gross margin of roughly 30 cents. Once you factor in labor, electricity, and maintenance, the owner nets only 10 to 15 cents a gallon. If you spend $37 to fill up a 12-gallon tank, the station owner nets about 40 to 60 cents. Meanwhile, the credit card company takes about 82 cents in swipe fees on that exact same transaction. Because the margins are so fragile, a price difference of just 3 pennies is enough to send drivers down the street. When wholesale fuel costs rise, owners spike their retail prices immediately to survive. When wholesale costs drop, they lower retail prices slowly, a pattern economists call rockets and feathers, trying to claw back whatever fractions of a cent they lost during the hike. If pumping gas is a low-margin grind, stations have to find profits somewhere else. They survive by getting you to walk through the glass doors. These two side-by-side bar charts compare the fuel outside to the store inside. Fuel generates over 67% of the station's total revenue, but the inside store generates over 61% of the total profit. Fuel margins sit at around 11%, but inside, a $2 can of soda that costs 40 cents wholesale yields a 75% margin. A bag of chips clears 83%. The ultimate driver of the bottom line is brewed coffee. A cup, lid, and the beans cost the owner about 23 cents. Selling that for $3 creates a gross margin of over 90%. One single cup of coffee generates more net profit than filling a 12-gallon gas tank. The most successful chains in the country, like Wawa and Casey's, operate as massive food and pizza businesses. The fuel pumps outside serve primarily as an advertisement to pull hungry drivers into the parking lot. Building a modern station from the ground up requires between $2 and $5 million. Buying the land and pouring concrete in high-traffic areas are standard expenses, but a massive portion of that budget is buried entirely out of sight. Installing underground storage tanks costs between $300,000 and $750,000 alone. The Environmental Protection Agency enforces strict hardware requirements to prevent environmental catastrophes. Owners must install double-walled fiberglass barriers, automatic gauging systems, and vapor recovery sensors to ensure not a single drop escapes into the earth. The EPA has recorded over 580,000 confirmed releases from underground tanks. If a leak happens, the average cleanup costs $154,000. If that fuel reaches the groundwater, soil remediation and legal fees can scale into the millions. Buying a gas station means potentially inheriting a massive environmental liability. Soil contamination from a previous owner becomes your problem, making rigorous environmental assessments the most critical part of the due diligence process. Because the margins on fuel are minuscule and the upfront capital is immense, a station must rely on pure volume. That requires an average daily traffic count of 30 to 50,000 cars passing by the property. But raw traffic numbers mean nothing if drivers can't get to the pumps. A concrete median blocking left-hand turns can instantly cut a location's capture rate by half. Drivers refuse to make U-turns for gas. A station has to be perfectly positioned at a signalized intersection or a highway on-ramp, so that pulling in requires zero extra thought. Let's look at the financial waterfall chart for a mid-sized suburban station pumping 100,000 gallons a month. The top line looks fantastic, with $461,000 in monthly revenue. But then we subtract the costs. You pay wages, utilities, insurance, maintenance, and those credit card fees, draining $42,500. Add a $25,000 monthly property loan payment, and the remaining cash plummets. The owner is left with a net operating profit of under $11,000. On nearly $500,000 in monthly revenue, the take-home margin is less than 3%. Without the high-margin products inside the convenience store, the gross profit from the fuel wouldn't even cover the building's basic operating expenses. The station would lose $12,500 every single month just by pumping gas. The thousands of gallons flowing through the pumps are just bait. The real economics of a gas station rely entirely on you getting out of your car, walking inside, and buying a cup of coffee.